Hello everyone, glad to have you back. Many things get lost over time, especially obscure video games. As F-Zero Grand Prix 1 and 2 are long gone, the number of F-Zero AX arcades is slowly declining. The e-reader tracks for cheap legend are hard to come by, but those things have all been preserved. It's not hard to find ROMs to play those games. They won't be forgotten that fast. But one game that I haven't mentioned yet has most likely been lost forever. Zero Races, also known as G-Zero, was showcased at E3 1996. It was supposed to be an F-Zero game for the Virtual Boy. I don't think I have to tell you the history of the Virtual Boy. Watch this video instead, it's really good stuff. Anyway, the Virtual Boy failed, and that's probably the reason why the game was never released. Looking at the few screenshots we have, we can see one major difference between this and every other F-Zero game. This one featured vertical movement. I personally don't know if that would fit F-Zero in general, but if the game played like I imagine it, it would make a lot of sense. I'll show you what I mean a bit later. Every track is basically a tube, maybe similar to Longplay from GX, just with more freedom in your movement. We know the layout of 4 tracks: Tunnel A2, A3, A4 and A5. They probably didn't do it on purpose, but for me at least, Tunnel A3 kinda looks like Mute City 1, and Tunnel 4 looks like Port Zone 2. Maybe I'm just seeing what I want to see, but I don't know. There would have been a total of 15 tracks in 3 different circuits, just like its predecessor. There's no mention of obstacles like mines or anything like that, so I guess there are none. It seems like most of the challenge came from being able to control the machine. Speaking of machines, there are 4 total machines: the Falcon, the Stingray, the Goose, and of course, the Origami. Ah, of course. The Falcon seems to be just like every version of the Blue Falcon. Average, a jack of all trades, a master of none. The Stingray is not like the Fire Stingray. It's the second slowest machine and it has weak acceleration, but it apparently has great handling. Pretty much everything the Fire Stingray doesn't have. The Goose, on the other hand, is like the Fire Stingray: slow acceleration, the highest top speed, and the worst cornering abilities. Finally, the Origami has the highest acceleration, apparently even accelerating instantly, and it also seems to be able to take every corner without any issues, but it suffers from having the lowest top speed. But it's just a bit slower than the Stingray, so it's probably not that bad. Since there is no available gameplay, I can't really judge which machine would be the best. If it's like the game before it, it would be the Goose since it's the fastest, but who knows. This game is just so different from every other F-Zero game. But what isn't different is how races seem to work. When you look at this screenshot, you see quite a few similarities to F-Zero on the SNES. A power meter, which probably goes down when you hit an opponent or the wall. Maybe even the ceiling and ground. This rapid thing at the bottom is probably a boost, similar icon to the original game, and just like the original game, you have to race well or you are eliminated before you even get to finish the track. Something unique is the minimap. There are maps in other games, but this one seems to have been zoomed in a little bit. You can't see the entire track. Multiplayer would have also been a thing in this game, making it the first F-Zero game to add that feature. Talking about graphics in a Virtual Boy game isn't really that exciting. Everything is either red or black. There are just lines everywhere, no solid textures or anything. Basically just wireframes. Since there's no video footage of Zero Races, we don't know anything about the music as well. But since it's an F-Zero title, I'm sure it would have been quite good. Just like every other F-Zero game. So, all that doesn't sound too bad. For a Virtual Boy game at least. But since it was now released, we can't try it out. It was showcased at E3, so it was possibly really close to completion. We know quite a bit about it, and judging by the screenshots, it looks complete. Maybe there were some minor tweaks and changes they wanted to before release, but who knows at this point. I am very sure there is at least one prototype somewhere out there. E3 had to have one to show the game itself, Nintendo Power had one, and Nintendo surely has one too. And honestly, I think they are the ones who probably still have it somewhere. They made it after all. And honestly, even if they had it and know about it, they won't do the same thing as with Star Fox 2, for example. Pretty sure a Virtual Boy Mini wouldn't sell that well. Speaking of Star Fox, this is basically how I imagine Zero Racers would have played. Kinda. We can do better. Let me introduce Z-Pace Racers, a homebrew Virtual Boy game inspired by Zero Racers. It's honestly more like a demo or a concept, but hey, it works. It looks like a Virtual Boy game, just a really optimized one, and it plays pretty much exactly how I imagine Zero Racers would play. Obviously there are a lot of things missing, but this was made by one guy, so I'm not going to charge anything. It's good. It's also the only thing that's ever coming close to Zero Racers, so we don't really have anything to compare to. Cancelled games are sad in a way, especially if they look like they are done. I'm sure people played it and surely at least one person got excited, only to get let down. It wasn't the game's fault, as you should know by now, the Virtual Boy was a failure. Other Virtual Boy games have been cancelled as well. They wanted to get it to work. It just didn't end that well for the console. I have gone through hours of videos from E3 1996. Sadly, I wasn't able to find anything. The Virtual Boy isn't seen that much in any of the videos that I've seen, and if you see it, it's just in the background somewhere. You can't see any detail on those low detail videos. And there's also something different. At E3 1996, Nintendo unveiled something big. The Nintendo 64. Obviously all the attention was focused on that. But just like the October 1998 issue of Electronic Gaming Monthly said, it might have been one of the few Virtual Boy games actually worth checking out. Hey there, happy you made it this far. I hope you enjoyed it. I told you before that my next few uploads are going to be shorter videos, so I can focus more on the next big one. It's gonna be done soon enough. But let's not make this any longer than it needs to be. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.